So Daniel Dubois got dropped twice, but he never unravelled. That was the difference. Wardley had the pattern early. Feint, step, launched the right hand over the top. It was dangerous, it was powerful, and it put Dubois on the canvas. But once Dubois found the jab, the fight changed completely. The feet, the timing, the short right hand, the composure under fire. Wardley showed unbelievable bravery, but Dubois showed levels, intelligence, and championship pedigree. So in this video, we're going to first do a breakdown of the fight, round by round, and this will be the main part of the video. Then we will discuss the post-fight, which will analyze the performances of both boxers. And then we will discuss the paths Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley could take. So let's analyze the fight. So in round one, Fabio starts off, he misses with the first right hand, but then the second right hand he throws puts Daniel Dubois on the canvas. It's a temple shot. Now Dubois looks aware and he actually looks to his corner after he gets up for guidance. Now Wardley is moving, he's moving predominantly to his right and he's feinting a lot with the left. And Fabio is letting the right hand go behind the feint, but apart from that second punch, he is missing. Daniel Dubois on the other hand, while he was on the canvas, he's looking at his corner, so he's conscious. Dubois is still letting his backhand go, and Dubois is making Fabio Wardley's backhand miss after the knockdown, and he lands a good right hand counter at the end. So basically here, I think Dubois needs to continue to use the jab. His footwork is good, and Wardley needs to get more educated with his jab. But of course, Wardley has had a fantastic start with the knockdown. So now we're in round two, and Fabio is missing with the backhand. He's missing with it. He is using the feint, so he's feinting, and throwing the backhand, but he's throwing it too high. So like I said, Wardley's feinting, but he's not using the jab. He's just feinting. And Wardley is stepping to his right, so he's creating that unique angle, but he's having an accuracy problem. And Dubois, he's coming out aggressive, he's landing jabs and he's landing his backhand. So even though he was knocked down in the previous round, that's not making him tentative. He's letting his hands go, and his footwork is really good. He's getting in and outside and it's causing Wardley some issues. There's also a good right hand counter and a really good double jab. So Wardley here, he needs to establish the jab in my opinion, while Daniel Dubois' jab is brilliant, and Wardley needs to change the trajectory of his right hand. So going into round three, and again, Fabio Wardley is just really committed to the right hand behind the feint. And again, he throws another big right hand. This time he lands on the top of the head, similar to the first round, and Dubois is on the canvas. It's a looping shot. Wardley is feinting still, but he's not establishing the jab, but he's getting tremendous success when he lands. Now Dubois is landing the jab and finding the backhand. He's roughing Wardley up on the inside, but again, he's caught with that right hand and then he goes to the canvas. However, in fairness to him, he's staying calm after the knockdown and he's making Wardley miss with the footwork. The footwork is still effective. So Dubois is boxing well, but every time Fabio lands, he is on the floor. Dubois needs to stay with the jab, stay composed with the jab and the movement. And Wardley, I still think, despite this early success, he needs to try and establish his jab. So we're going into round four. Fabio is showing good movement, but again, he's missing with the backhand behind the feint. But I understand why he's investing so much into the backhand, because every time it lands, it's having a significant effect. But now he's taking big right hands, but in fairness, he's showing good resistance. There's also a really nice right hand counter on the ropes. Even when Fabio is hurt, he is dangerous. Now with regards to Dubois, a nice massive right hand, he's showing power, speed and accuracy. And then he lands another backhand. So again, there's great timing, great accuracy. And Dubois is getting his confidence back and he's throwing combinations. And again, his footwork is great. His footwork and his jab, that's very significant. So again, I think Wardley needs to use the jab. His feints is good, the movement is good, but he's not establishing his jab. Dubois, however, is boxing really well. He's got good jab, good movement and good combinations. And this is where actually Don Charles actually slaps Dubois, which I've never seen Don Charles do that before. Maybe he has done it before, but there's definitely urgency in that corner. So as we enter round 5, Fabio is walking into jabs, and this is because his head is over his front foot. And Fabio is trying the backhand with the right step. So he's stepping to the right, trying the backhand, but it's missing the majority of the time. And the head on the front foot is making him susceptible to jabs, but also susceptible to Dubois' backhand, which is really dangerous. He's really establishing both weapons now. Now, with regards to Dubois is really aggressive. He's taking dominance, and he's had the ring dominance since the beginning of the fight, despite the knockdowns. Dubois is throwing punches, and he's just asserting his dominance, and there's a really nice double right hand from Dubois. Now, Wardley, from my perspective, needs to become more defensively responsible. He needs to use the jab, and he needs to change the trajectory of the backhand. But he also needs to introduce some punch creativity. Think of a left hook, a double jab, a feint with the right hand for the left hook. He just needs to be more creative with his punch selection. And Dubois simply needs to maintain what he's doing, because he's really gathering momentum with the jab, the backhand, and again, the footwork is really good. So going into round 6, Fabio is trying to use the jab. So he's feinting and he's trying to use the jab, which is good. He's making some adjustments, but he's simply taking too much punishment. So his defense at this point in time is not effective. Wardley is being dominated, but as he's being dominated, he's trying the right hand counter on the ropes, and that is a very, very dangerous shot. So Dubois needs to be mindful of that. Now, Dubois has a good educated jab, and he's getting that right hand off. There's a lovely double jab, straight right, left hook combination for Dubois. So he's punching in combinations, and he's absolutely savage at the end of the round, Dubois. He's really getting momentum. He's hurting Wardley. And this is simply incredible. Wardley is now getting battered, but he's still trying that right hand counter, which is good. So Dubois needs to keep doing what he's doing. He needs to keep negating the backhand. And now you can see that Wardley is starting to get some facial damage. So going into round 7, and this is an amazing fight, a truly amazing fight. Now, Fabio has an amazing chin, and actually his blood is dripping onto Daniel Dubois' shoulder. This is becoming really brutal. Now, Fabio is still committing to the backhand behind the feint, but it's not effective. And unfortunately, at this time, Wardley is not making adjustments, and by default, he's not making effective adjustments. Dubois lands a beautiful 1-2-3. That's a jab, straight right, left hook. Beautiful. The footwork is great, and the backhand is landing. Dubois is finding the 1-2, which is fast, and he's going through the phases now. So he's going through the phases. This is dangerous. Now they both go toward the end. This is an amazing fight. And Fabio is getting absolutely brutalized. I mean, this is Rocky Marciano / Evander Holyfield levels of bravery here. Dubois simply needs to maintain that heavy jab, use the feints, use his feet, and keep his shape. So we're in round 8 of this fantastic fight. Now Fabio is still feinting. He's looking for the big right hand. He's trying to use that right angle, but he's missing. There's not enough creativity behind the backhand. So there's a lack of adjustments, a lack of effective adjustments, a lack of boxing IQ, a lack of experience, but tremendous levels of heart. Now Dubois is landing the jab, and now he's starting to land the right hand counter. There's some really nice quick 1-2s from Dubois. They're quick, they're sharp, and they're powerful. Dubois controlling the center, he's controlling the distance, he's finding the range. And Dubois is now landing these vicious, hurtful punches. Now Dubois' jab is literally tearing Fabio's face apart. This is brutal. The blood is getting worse. And as the fight develops, Dubois is becoming more and more dominant. So we're heading into round 9, and Fabio is now starting to make adjustments. The first adjustment is that he's trying to throw the right hand as an uppercut. So he's changing the trajectory of the shot. And now he's jabbing more, which is enabling him to get some accuracy with the right hand. But despite these adjustments, despite these effective adjustments, Fabio is in trouble again. But he's still looking for that right hand counter, so he's maintaining his composure and looking for the right hand counter under pressure to show some boxing IQ. So I do want to acknowledge that. Now Dubois, it seems now he's pacing himself, he's been fighting hard, he has some damage over his left eye, and he takes a big right hand, but then he lands a big right hand, and then at the end of the round, Dubois starts to dominate. Now, he's landing these vicious punches, hurtful punches. It's amazing that Fabio is able to stand up. Now, the referee sends Fabio to the doctor, and really the corner could stop the fight because, you know, Fabio started the round well, but then Daniel Dubois absolutely dominated at the end. But despite this, despite the referee having concerns and despite sending him to the doctor, this fight is allowed to continue. Now we're going into round 10 and Fabio's legs look terrible, but despite this, the doctor lets him continue. And the referee is following the appropriate protocol. He obviously has concerns and he's seeking medical attention, which is the right thing to do. However, Fabio Wardley, being an absolute warrior, lands a big right hand, which Daniel Dubois takes, and he's still trying, but now he's taking more punishment. Dubois is composed, he's still using his feet, he's feinting, and again he's finding this nice 1-2 and establishing his jab again. He lands a huge right hand, and Dubois now is viciously punishing Wardley. In my opinion, they need to stop the fight, and Dubois is just looking incredible. So as we go into the 11th round, Fabio's face looks an absolute mess. Now, Fabio, to his credit, has shown Rocky Marciano, Evander Holyfield levels of bravery. This is unbelievable. His punch resistance is out of this world, and he's still trying to throw the right hand. But someone needs to stop the fight, and his legs are looking concerning. Now, Dubois lands a big right hand, and then he throws, I think it's like a left hand feint, some foot feints, and then lands a strong 1-2, and then the referee stops the fight. So first things first, that is one of the best fights I've ever seen. It was absolutely brutal, and they both put everything on the line. Now, from a Dubois perspective, that was simply a sensational performance. Now, when you look at the performance Dubois showed, he showed his pedigree. His jab and his footwork, I thought, was incredible. Also, he showed composure because he overcame two very difficult moments, which were the two knockdowns. Dubois showed composure, boxing intelligence, and he proved his mental strength. He actually showed two things. He proved his mental strength and he showed his boxing IQ. And he also showed that there's levels in boxing. Now, from the Fabio Wardley perspective, I think the movement was good and he clearly has massive power, massive power. There were some good feints and the right hand counter was dangerous, but he neglected his jab and he did not make the necessary adjustments, which would have been the jabs, the left hook, a different trajectory of the right hand, etc. He did show elite levels of heart and bravery, elite levels. Now, should the corner have stopped the fight? And it's important not to fall for hindsight bias here, but I think in hindsight they should have stopped the fight. But I can understand why they didn't stop the fight, because Fabio Wardley was still throwing big punches, and he was throwing big punches on the counter even when he was in trouble. So he was always dangerous. Now, the referee, in fairness to the referee, he followed the appropriate protocol because he sought medical intervention twice to look at Fabio Wardley. So in simple terms, this was Dubois' moment, and now he is a two-time heavyweight champion. He, Dubois, proved that he was a warrior, and he showed good boxing intelligence. Now, there are some big fights for Daniel Dubois. Now, the Moses Atama fight, that is a huge fight, and that translates within the British context and the world context. The Wardley rematch is also a big fight because the first fight was so incredible, and perhaps this could be in an even bigger stadium. And then you have the potential, but this would be down the line, of super fights with Tyson Fury or an AJ rematch. But this depends on the outcome of their fight and if they continue to fight. So there's literally, you could say that the sky is the limit for Daniel Dubois. He has massive choices which would have economic impact, but also a cultural impact. And this is really just, put him back on the map. And I'm really happy for Daniel Dubois. I think he showed, like I said, he showed that mental toughness, he showed bravery, he showed composure, and he has a bright future. With regards to Fabio Wardley, there's a few things he needs to address. First of all, should he take the rematch? I think that rematch is a very dangerous fight. Now, to be honest with you, the brutal nature of that fight could actually make him retire, because that could take years off your career. He left his soul in the ring. Both of them did. He could choose to rebuild, but if he does choose to rebuild, he needs to refine his boxing IQ and, of course, rebuild his confidence. So I guess we should just be thankful for such a great fight, and thankful for the commitment of both these warriors, because this fight delivered in every single way. So that's the end of the video. Now I'm trying to build a digital boxing community. That means I'm interested in your comments, I'm interested in your questions, and I'm interested in your observations. Now, if you want to support the channel, simply like and subscribe. And if you want to watch more of this content, then simply click here or click here. As always, thanks for your time. It is much appreciated.